the ARK Survival Ascended community has officially discovered some really important information here that potentially could lead us to call Wildcard and Snail Games out on their bluff of releasing the game in October 2023. Now, I'm not stating that it's not officially releasing, but 7 days might tell us otherwise. For those of you that do not know, ARK Survival Ascended is going to be launching on the Steam platform, potentially going to be launching here at the end of October 23, according to Wildcard and Snail Games. They are going to be launching to Steam here in early access stage. This gives them the ability and flexibility, I guess, to actually add more onto the game as time goes on. It allows them to release a unfinished quote project, and it also protects them in case if they ever want to abandon the project in the future, that players are going to be satisfied with whatever current status of that game is when they buy it here in early access. Alrighty, so just like with other gaming platforms, Steam has a set of guidelines and rules that developers have to adhere to in order for them to put their game on the store. Well, here we're taking a look at Steam's documentation. If we head over here to Streamworks documentation, this is going to be public information that everybody can access. I'll try to remember to put a link down below to this in the description, especially if anybody creators out there who want to make a video following up this one. Either way, if we go ahead and take a look at the documentation, we're going to head over to the store presence options, all right? Underneath the store presence options, there's a bunch of different, sub-tabs. We're going to go ahead and go all the way down to the release options. If we click on release options, and this is going to bring us to the first section that I want to talk about. Before any of these 3 stages can actually be done, there is a review process, as we can see right here. Let's say we've already went ahead and approved it. Let's move on to the next step. The next step brings us into the coming soon status. Now, obviously, when ARK Survival Ascended launches, Wildcard has stated they're going to launch into the early access stage, not the coming soon stage. However, even though they're not going to launch in coming soon, they still have to do some really important steps. The very first one that is required by Valve is actually going to be here. It says you must have a coming soon page up on Steam for at least 2 weeks before you can release your product. It does not matter what stage you launch it in, whether that's coming soon, early access, or full release. It does not matter. It is required for every game to have a coming soon page up on Steam for at least 2 weeks before you can release the product. And currently, at the time of recording this video, there is no Steam page up for ARK Survival Ascended. We still have the page up for ARK Survival Evolved, but there is no ARK Survival Ascended when it comes to a store page. So what makes this very interesting and intriguing is that this states that up to 14 days prior to the game's official launch, even in early access stage for ARK Survival Ascended, the developers, aka Wildcard, have to put up a coming soon page. Well, if we bring up a calendar, Wildcard stated that they're planning to launch in October of 2023. So let's just assume the worst and say that they're going to launch on the 31st. Well, if they plan to launch the game in early access on Steam on the 31st of October, well, if we count back 2 weeks, because that's when Steam states that you have to have a coming soon page on the store, if you count it back 2 weeks, that brings us into October 17th. So essentially, October 17th would be the absolute last day that the coming soon page can pop up randomly on Steam, because that is literally going to be the 14-day mark that is required by the rules and regulations on Steam before a game can actually be published, if Wildcard still wants to stay true to the launch in October of 2023. So now you might be questioning, well, Kodeations, you said that ARK is going to be launching in early access, not in the coming soon stage. Well, check this out. If we scroll down to the early access stage, we can see the second paragraph that's listed right here. It says, please note that you will still need to have a coming soon page up for at least 2 weeks before your product will be playable on Steam. So it doesn't matter what status that Wildcard decides to launch ARK Survival Ascended here on the Steam platform. According to the Steam's rules and regulations, no matter what status, they still are required to have a public coming soon page up 14 days prior to when the game officially decides to release. Something else worth mentioning here, I see a lot of other content creators for ARK talking about the review process taking 3 to 5 business days, and so we could one could assume that that would mean that it would push the October 17th date forward a little bit to like October 13th, for instance, because they would need some room in order for it to get approved. And that's not necessarily true, because it does state here that they can build this coming soon page whenever, as it just being private and the public can't see the page, and they can even have it approved by Valve or Steam essentially, and then they just never activate it until they're ready to activate it. The only regulation or stipulation they have to abide by is that that page has to go live 14 days, at least 14 days before the official game is released into early access. So with that being said, I'm not going to really factor in those 3 to 5 days because, you know, obviously Wildcard has ARK Survival Evolved, and they've already launched a Steam page before for this game, so I would imagine that they might already have their ducks in a row. They probably already have the coming soon page designed and approved by Valve themselves, and they're just simply waiting to activate it. Either way, it is still some really big news for the ARK Survival Ascended community, because this should give us a little bit of hope here that if they are still planning to stick to their launch month of October 2023, that we only have a couple of days or potentially a week before we actually see more information when it comes to a Steam page for ARK Survival Ascended. And before we wrap up today's video, I wanted to just do a massive thank you to everybody out there that has been supporting my ARK Survival Ascended content. I have dropped 2 videos currently here on the channel. These are my very first ARK videos that I've ever made, even being a veteran OG ARK player of over 4,000 hours for ARK Survival Evolved. I've never made a single piece of content on the game, and these 2 videos alone have proven that I have a massive audience out there that I can tap into and hopefully generate some buzz around my YouTube channel and the relation to ARK and other survival games. So again, just a massive thank you guys out here to all of the love and support. It has been an absolute blessing. And that's officially going to wrap up our video for today. If you guys haven't done so already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything ARK Survival Ascended. Also, don't forget that I do have a Discord. If you guys are looking for a cool place to hang out or potentially join on a private server that I will rent when ARK Survival Ascended officially launches, don't forget to join the Discord. You will find that link down below in the description. With that being said though, guys, as always, have a good day, and I will see you on the next one.